Jeff that Heather is a prisoner because she's done some awful things in the past and that at least they've chosen him to do this instead of Rogan. Jeff still refuses to do it and begs Steve to talk to the committee to change their minds. Steve leaves the room, pretending to go to call the committee, but actually, he goes to the kitchen to grab some coffee and chat with Lizzie for a while. When he returns, Steve lies to Jeff, saying the committee refuses to change their minds and Jeff must proceed with the experiment if he doesn't want to get kicked out of the program. Seeing as he has no other choice, Jeff accepts to give Darkenflox to Heather, who immediately begins feeling excruciating pain. Mark also gives Jeff B15 to make him verbose. Now Jeff has to describe all the ways Heather is panicking, how guilty it makes him feel, and how he still doesn't love her. In her panicked flailing, Heather bumps her back against the wall and breaks the Moby pack, causing the Darkenflox to flood her. Heather gets awfully violent, to the point where she breaks a vase and uses the pieces to end it all before Mark can get there to stop her. Steve runs out of the room to check on her and drops his keys in the process, so while he and Mark argue about what happened, Jeff takes the chance to do some snooping. With the keys, Jeff gains access to Steve's notebook and finds many interesting things. First, there's a chemical formula called OBDX on a piece of paper with the Amnesty Pharmaceuticals logo at the top. This means there is no committee, Steve is the owner and boss of a private operation. Next, Jeff finds a bingo card full covered with gold stars except for two numbers, 6 and 40. By peeking under the stars, he realizes the numbers match all the different chemicals they've been testing. N40 doesn't have a star yet because it hasn't achieved true love, and B6 is what Mark refills in everyone's Moby Pox. Before he can look any further into it, Jeff notices Steve is coming back and puts everything away, throwing the keys back on the floor not to be discovered. Later, Mark asks Steve to report this, but Steve refuses. Reporting the incident will only get them shut down, and they already crossed the line a long time ago, which means it's too late to give up. Afterward, Steve goes to see Jeff, but not even the most prepared speech can make him feel better, so Steve goes for another tactic by sharing the chemical they had tested on Ray. Both men enter a laughing fit they can't get out of, not